welcome. ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಗಿತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. 25-30 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಆಚೆ ನಿಂತು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಶೇಷ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇದೆ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಇದೆ, ತುಳುನು ಇದೆ, 3 ಭಾಷೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇರಳ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಂಧ್ರ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. My children who mostly lived abroad were asking me, this meeting was supposed to start at 4 o'clock. So first we had a family gathering at 4 o'clock. Of course, nobody came at 4 o'clock. They came at 5. This meeting is supposed to start at 6. But what was? Just relax. It will all happen. We have some snacks and tea and coffee downstairs. And those of you who want to grab something, please go and have it. And those of you who already had it, it's good. We want to kick off. I suspect that there will be people joining as we move along. But we don't know delay any further. Starting a meeting 15 minutes late for the record. So the announcement said, I thought we were going to start at 6 o'clock. So, are you all able to hear me at the back? Mic, the voice is the problem, not the mic. This is not the same voice, the weaker voice. Just in terms of, this is meant to be a very informal gathering of friends, supporters, and there are more events planned. There's I think Rajshekar, Gopinath, others are planning another event on second evening. They will talk about it more. Okay. So they will mention that when they speak. We have in the press club in Delhi an event on third evening in Delhi. There will be one more in Bengaluru. People are spontaneously organizing. It's not centrally being done. Just a tribute to Rajshekar, my father's work, and people have been sending me messages, sorry and condolences. Of course, it's very difficult to lose a parent, but at the same time, I can't think of a better way of going. He's lived for 92 years, lived life on his own terms. So, I always say that most people take several lifetimes to contribute what he's done. He's had an incredibly impactful life, and so at 92, and he went peacefully without much suffering. And so I think we are treating this as a celebration of his life, his contribution, of everything that he has done. I do not want to make a long speech. I must say that I said I'm not making a long speech, and in the previous function we just finished the family one. I did speak for long. I'm not going to restrain myself now. We have a long list of people who wanted to express their thoughts at this moment. So I will jump straight into that. The idea is to hear from some people and then, honor his memory. At the end, we will have a moment of silence and then flower petals to be put on the picture. As you know, he's a man who did not have any religious beliefs. So we're not doing anything religious. It's very much just an informal gathering. I have, but it's also a bit difficult to plan this event because we didn't ask for RSVP. So we were not sure who's actually going to show up. So it will be very much based on who showed up and who wants to speak. It's a very flexible arrangement, but we don't want to drag it out too much. We want to finish in about an hour's time. So those of you who are speaking, others to sort of a short time, memories, reflections. We can move quickly, speaker by speaker. Of course, reflecting his own work in his lifetime. We have speakers representing the Dalit movement, the Shudra OBC movement. We have speakers representing women's movement, the minority groups, Muslim, Sikhs. So it's quite a wide array of people. So thank you very much for joining us today. I thought that I'll maybe ask at the outset Ruth to say a few words Ruth, would you mind coming, just kicking us off? And because I know that you have other engagements, so please let me give you the first moment to say a few words. Ruth Panorama is known to, I think, everybody in Bangalore. Doesn't need an introduction as a leader of women's rights, Dalit rights, Islam women's rights. And I have grown up in a household where Ruth was a regular visitor. And I'm sure she's going to start by telling you that my father used to call her Ruthless Panorama.
Good evening to everyone. I think as I see a lot of us who've been activists, journalists, and people who are involved in social justice issues are here. I think though PT Rajshekar has gone, but I think the spirit, the dynamism that he has left is in many of us, even today. One day I met him in 1981 in a meeting. I happened to go to Indian Express to give a press note to the Indian Express. In 81, I think he has left or he was going to leave Indian Express. I don't remember. Then I saw his name in the list. VT Rajshekar Shetty. So then he was planning to start Dalit Voice, a lot of advertisement. So I met this gentleman and I asked, Sir, you're Shetty, how come that you are starting a Dalit Voice? What is your stand on this issue? And he told me, Ruth, your name is Ruth, I know, and you also started an organization called Women's Voice in Bengaluru. I think you followed my name. No, sir, independently, I never even know you, but I gave my women's group, Women's Voice. And I told him, how can, you being a Shetty, I mean, it's not a Shetty, is not a higher caste, but, belongs to the backward classes. Shetty, how can you work for, the Dalits and for the marginalized people? What made you to work on this issue? Then he told me that we don't need to be born in a community to work for the social justice cause. Social justice cause belongs to everybody. Therefore, Ruth, I felt that I'm working. At the time that he has wrote a small booklet called Apartheid in India. That book was not available in Bangalore anywhere. And it was available in the minority groups in London. They asked me whether you know this man. This is the book, Ruth, you must read. So I read that book when I was in London, and I felt that the apartheid in South Africa, the racism that has been practiced in Americas. So I think it's so similar. That was the time my consciousness, even on Dalit, started growing. I was a women's activist. Basically, on the class basis, we've been working with the poor and organizing them, workers. But though I've been born as a Dalit, since I was a Christian, so we are like to be known as Christians, not a Dalit. Only when you come to marriage, you know what you are and who is going to marry you, not marry you. One knows it. So I felt that, this man is something very, very new. He's so frank. He first called me, you're a ruthless woman. Hey, who's this guy who's calling me like that, And he's a big man, I can't do anything to him. Otherwise, somebody would have got it from me so well. So, but I think, looking at him, his style and dynamics, I thought that a man who has committed himself to the marginalized and the Dalits. And I think the magazine that he has brought went all over the universities, went to all theological colleges. And, people who said, who is Dalit, what is Dalit and all that, started, looking at this book. he did not only mention the untouchables, like the Dalit Panthers, he also said marginalized as well as people who are oppressed everywhere, which included Adivasis, which included minorities, which included women. So his idea of a Dalit almost came from the Dalit Panthers of India in 1970. So his understanding of Dalit is very, very large. So being a social reformer, the first Dalit issue, a journal, the periodicals, it's the first one. It went all over India, maybe also throughout the world. Like people never heard about a word called Dalit. Maybe scheduled caste, region, Panchamas, the fifth order, that kind of all, like what the Americans, called the blacks as, niggers. Like that, all they were aware of it. A Dalit is a name which showed the revolt of the Dalits. And they did not want to be in the same status. They want to be out from it. So people started, many Dalits all over in the movement, they started telling, I am Dalit. I think that kind of a prominence, that kind of a respect, the Dalit voice as a literature gave it to many Indians. I think, the merit should go to, Rajshekar. I think is one who defended the constitutional rights. We were also remembered when he was one day, I don't know which year is that, maybe Corinne and myself and all will remember. Suddenly there was a news, he was taken, handcuffed and taken in train, to Punjab. We didn't know what issue, what was it. There were some issues in Punjab, he's spoken and he has written about it. So just like that, they caught him and, kind of chained him, handcuffed him and taken him to Punjab. His wife is not here. His wife went along with him in an ordinary class, followed him and then sent the message that we have protested, and within, 3 or a week's time, he returned. So I think he really protected the constitutional rights of Dalits, Adivasis, and farmers, workers, and children too. And I think the trailblaze blazing and a radical Ambedkar journal that influences countless number of activists, that influenced him. There are a lot of contradiction in his paper. Dalit voice is really, sometimes I asked him also, you say one thing, you are writing one thing, what is this? Ruth, all kinds of knowledge and all kinds of discussion must enter into that. So I think that what is influence that this paper brought the class, caste, and gender imperialism that need to be opposed. I think it's a radical, Dalit voice is a radical copy, I would say, that a radical copy of the broader Dalit movement in those days. Like even today, there is, I do not know how many journals are there, but I think that this journal of his was a broader kind of a copy, broader kind of a product that, exposed the Dalit interest as well as the Dalit movement. I think it's also Dalit voice also expressed the cultural expressions of the marginalized and communities and people who are subjugated. And I think always, wherever he went, he would, tell people, are you a Dalit or not Dalit? Many those days in 1980s, 70s and all that, they will not declare themselves as Dalit. They will say, I'm a Buddhist, I am this, I'm a Christian, and but you're Buddhist, but you're a Dalit, right? You're a Christian, you're a Dalit, right? I think many people pointedly made to, show their identity and stand for the cause. I think his magazine was very much anti-caste. Yeah? Very much anti-caste and anti-Brahminical stand. It took an anti-Brahminical stand. And also an anti-racist stance. That's why uh, though, like, he speaks to people so openly, attack them.
His memory, I feel it's very important that the road where he was residing should be got named after him. A resolution should be passed here asking the government to rename that name in his name. I suggest that's very important. Secondly, a book has to be got, a book has to become out, a comprehensive, all is, a monograph came up, to which I had also contributed, but that was inadequate. A very comprehensive book has to come out to commemorate his memory. And all those things are there. We are in a period, a challenging period, and the future of this country is to be saved. It has to be saved. It has to be, taken out from the hegemony of America. That's very important. What we may face in the future may be very challenging for this country. I thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity to address. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dalit. I think there's not many people left from that generation who are still with us, who were contemporaries and peers with my father in this initial stage of struggle. And we are now standing on their shoulders. The battle goes on, but we are working hard on that. So many activists, fighters from different groups are here today. I'll request Jasbir Singh to say a few words from his perspective. Jasbir is a leader of the Gurdwara, the Sikh community in Bengaluru, but apart from that, he's my college mate and he's known my father for many, many years. Jasbir.
Good evening, namaskara. We gather with a heavy heart today. I think today is more a day of celebration. Celebrating the life of an outstanding individual like Mr. V.T. Rajshekar. As Salil said, my connection with Salil and Meena is that we are the alumni of this college and they were junior to me. And when I was the president of the college and he was also one of the committee members. But when I met Mr. V.T. Rajshekar for the first time, I never knew he had a connection with Salil. All of you are familiar with the Alsur Gurdwara. It was the early 80s. One Mr. Hanuman Singh became the president of the Alsur Gurdwara. And Hanuman Singh was a Dalit converted to Sikhism. As you know, one of the main principles of Guru Nanak, he was against caste. But unfortunately, I cannot say that we Sikhs 100% follow that. Because when Mr. Hanuman Singh became the president, the other Sikhs objected, saying that how can a Dalit become a leader of the Sikh community? Notwithstanding the fact that he wore the turban, he grew his beard, he was a follower of Guru Nanak. And one fine day there was a get-together in the Gurdwara, and I saw this gentleman sitting there, and he also had some write-up or pamphlet about, Hanuman Singh. And that's when I first came to know him. In fact, when I first saw him, I was a little bit scared of him because he looked very fierce and he was not smiling. And I had to talk to him because many of the Sikhs of that time said, "You're educated, you please talk to him, what is he doing here?" And my brief interaction with him was that he came to say that, "Why are you objecting against this? He's a Sikh like everybody else." And that was my first encounter with him. Later on, I came to meet him many times because Salil, Bina, and my family, we stayed in the same street for a lot of years. And I came to see another side of him as a father. But yet again, I would say that when somebody said that he would make provocative statements, we Josephites are good at speaking in anything. But when uncle spoke, I would shut up. But he also would say certain things which sometimes went above my head, like somebody said, and sometimes I would say, "What is he talking about?" It took me some time because thanks to Salil, who used to do the proofreading, I think, for Dalit those days, I used to get a free copy or whatever the copy of Dalit Voice. I started reading some of his articles. And those articles were, like I said, on subjects which not many people would write about. He always spoke or always wrote on subjects which were off the track. I won't say off the track, of what the normal standard journalism would, write about those days. And that, I think, was an outstanding feature because he would not only be provocative, he would let you think. And when he went back and read what he wrote about, you felt that here was a man who was not only a visionary, but I think somebody who awakened your conscience. And the other incident which I remember was, I think it was 86 or so, that when he was arrested, and all of us were together that day at Salil's house, and he was taken to his train, and Auntie also went along with him, and Bina. Sorry, I think Salil went along. And what I saw was the remarkable calmness on his face. He couldn't care a damn that he was arrested. He was so cool about it. Auntie was flustered, Salil was flustered. They went into the same compartment and went to Punjab. Fortunately, after a very short time, he was released. But again, the remarkable point about him was that when he believed in something, he went 100%. And I think that is, if I would look at two legacies of his, one is the fearlessness in pursuit of truth. Number two is spirit of conviction. I think if these two legacies we carry forward, we give tribute to Rajshekar. Thank you very much.
I wanted to just acknowledge, since you mentioned Chandigarh, his book called Chandigarh Yatra. The word Yatra has become very popular once again, thanks to Rahul Gandhi. But he had written a book which I don't think got published, the Chandigarh Jail Yatra. I have the manuscript with me. But that was my first exposure to state terrorism. The Sikhs were called terrorists, but we had, the real terror was the then government of India, which was Congress. It was during Rajiv Gandhi's time. And that's why we say that in some ways there are more RSS people in the Congress than in the BJP. So we are living with this underlying reality that the political parties might move, but the issues underneath remain. I'm saying this in front of two of my Congress friends and leaders, but please don't take it amiss. But in fact, Rahul Gandhi, when we did I joined briefly for the Bharat Jodo Yatra, for which I became infamous. Not because I'm a Congress person, but I agreed with the values that he was promoting. And one of the questions he asked me as we were walking is, how do you destroy the RSS? So I said, why don't you start with your own party? Because there's so many of them inside, they've infiltrated your system also, But I have a request, this acknowledgement. There's a whole group who come from Simla and Haryana. Ramesh Tirdia, who's organized so many events around my BTS books and Dalit Voice. Subhash Musafir, Palampur, Himachal, RP Hash from Sirsa, Dharamveer from Dwarka, Delhi. I think I'm reading out these names because, there's no place I go in India, even the most remote districts, in the most remote states, somebody will come up to me and say, are you V.T. Rajshekar's son? Were you involved with Dalit Voice? So, and those are days before we had computers and databases and oracles and, SAPs and all that. But I still don't know. There was a physical book. A lot of that was maintained by my mother. But there is no district where you don't find some kind of Dalit Voice readers group in almost every part of the country. So the penetration, not just physically of Dalit Voice, but into the minds of so many Dalit leaders. And I thought that since we've had several older speakers, let me bring a younger speaker in from Bihar, Satya, who's, we have Abad, a few friends from Bihar also here, because he had a national footprint. Today we are in Bangalore and Karnataka, we talk about Bangalore. Satya, aajaiga. So we just thought that it's good to hear from some younger voices, and if there are more younger voices who want to speak, they will get priority.
Good evening, friends. Javi, I'm happy to be here, and thanks that I got this opportunity to be introduced to Vicky sir. I remember when we went to JNU, like from my village to JNU, when I went there, there was a group called United Dalit Student Group, and I happened to be the central committee member elected there. But we used to have a name, like my name is Satya, so all the central committee member has to put RD Satya. RD means radical. So when I was became central committee member, they put me RD, and I said, okay, how do you become radical? I know I know the thoughts of Ambedkarism, but how do I become radical? And that was the time when I was introduced with this magazine called Dalit Voice. And it was like everybody recommended, everybody said that just read through this. And reading all the magazines and all the contents from there, actually that made our speech and everything what we were doing so clear and crispy, and very clear in terms of what we are talking to community, what do we want, why we are fighting against Brahmanism, and what is our content to say. So everything we picked up, and that was the time when I got to know that such a literature existed. I think thanks to VT sir, because and all the generation who were in JNU at that point of time, actually we were all going through and referring and talking, and everything was coming from the Dalit Voice content, more or less. In 2019, when I met Salil sir, I also didn't know that he's connected, he's the son of VT sir. But in due course of time, last year, we got this opportunity to meet VT sir in Delhi, and it was kind of two and a half hours of discussion and sitting with him and just listening to his story. And all the 2 hours we were having goosebumps, and we were just asking many questions like what happened during that time when this was getting evolution was happening. And that actually gave us also, and some of the young activists who are working on the ground with the Dalit movement, it gave us also a kind of a hope and feeling that the radicalism or the work which we are doing it's very important, and how it needs to be taken to the young people as a legacy, as a thought process to be kept with the young people, growing young people in today's world also. So I think it is our humble tribute and thanks to Salil sir for this organizing this, and thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. So before Satya, who's Dalit leader from Bihar, found out that I am BTR's son, he was treating me a little bit less importantly. Once he knew that, the whole thing changed. BTR's son, we'll treat you as a bit more respect. So, thank you very much again for all of you for joining us. I'll request CM Ibrahim sir, last but not least. Gopinath, are you ready? Rajshekar, this is everybody wants to speak, but last. So, I have known Chandrasekhar since my childhood days. He was almost every day in our house. When Dalit Voice was created, speaking stamps, he's a very powerful, important Dalit leader from Bangalore. Chandrasekhar.
Good evening. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ದಲಿತ ಸಮಾಜದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ದೂರ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ VTR ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಂಜಲಿಯನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಅವರ ಒಡನಾಟವನ್ನ ನಾನು ಜ್ಞಾಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾವು ಸುಮಾರು 35 ವರ್ಷಗಳವರೆಗೂ VTR ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ನಾನು, ತಿಮ್ಮರಾಯಪ್ಪ, ನಾರಾಯಣ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಮುತ್ಯಾಲಪ್ಪ, ಬೋರಯ್ಯ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತು. ನಮಗೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಘಟನೆ, ಅನ್ಯಾಯದ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆಯನ್ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ VTR ಅವರು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು. ನಾವು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕನ್ನಡ ಪ್ರಭ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್, ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರಭ, ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಣಿ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ನಾವು ದಲಿತ ಚಳವಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ದಲಿತ ಚಳವಳಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸುದ್ದಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲ. DSS ಗಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ದಲಿತ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಅದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಚಳವಳಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆದಂತ. ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ದಲಿತ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಜೈಲ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕೋರು, ಆವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೇನು ಕಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮದಿದ್ದಂತದ್ದು ಕಾರಣ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ VTR ಅವರ ದಲಿತ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ, OBCಗಳಿಗೆ, ವಿಚಾರವಾದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಶೋಷಿತರ ಧ್ವನಿ ಹೇಗಾಗಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳದ ಹೊತ್ತು ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದೆರಡು 3 ನಿಮಿಷಗಳು ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ. ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡದಂತದ್ದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ VTR ಅವರ ಮನೆ ಕುಮಾರ ಕೃಪಾ ಈ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ರೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ ಮನೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ VTR ಅವರು ಲೋಯರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಲೇಸ್ ಆಚರಣೆಗೆ ಮನೆ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿದ್ದು, ಬಸವಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪನವರು ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಕೊಡಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂತ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಈ ದಲಿತ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದ ಹೇಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟುದ್ದ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಏನ್ ನಾವು ಹೆಸರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು, ತಿಮ್ಮರಾಯಪ್ಪ ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿನ VTR ಅವರ ಮನೆಗೆ, ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ರೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಮನೆಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಅನೇಕ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ದಲಿತರದ್ದು, OBCಗಳದ್ದು, ದಲಿತರ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅನ್ಯಾಯಗಳು, ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನಿಸಂ, ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬರ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟವರೇ VTR. ಆಮೇಲೆ ದಲಿತ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಅಲೈನ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಡೆಲ್ವಿ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದವು. ಸ್ಲಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಈ ಸ್ಲಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ಸು, ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸು, ದಲಿತರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಒಂದೇ ಸ್ಲಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ದಲಿತ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಅಲಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ VTR ಅವರೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂಲ ಕಾರಣ ಕೂಡ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಲಮ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ದಲಿತ ಅಂತ ಪದ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, VTR ಅವರು ಅವರ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ 9:30ವರೆಗೆ. ನಾನು, VTR, ನಾರಾಯಣಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಡೆಲ್ವಿ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಒಂದಿನ ಹೋಗಿ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ VTR ಅವರು ಸೌತ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಥರ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದಲಿತ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಥರ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ SC ST ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ದಲಿತ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಲಹೆಯನ್ನ BTR ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಆವಾಗ ಆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ದಲಿತ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ BTR ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬಾಗಿದ್ರು. ಈ ನಮಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ದಾರಿದೀಪ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಕೊನೆಗೆ BTR ಅವರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೌಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರು ಟೌನ್ ಹಾಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸತ್ಯವಾಣಿ ಮುತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡು ಈ ಸಮಾಜ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಸಚಿವೆಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರನ್ನ ಕರೆಸಿ ಟೌನ್ ಹಾಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳುವವನಿಗೆ ಭೂಮಿ ಆಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಇರುವವನಿಗೆ ಮನೆ ಯಾಕಾಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ, ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರಚಾರನೂ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಬೈಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ, ಇದರಿಂದ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ, ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕರೆದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಇದು BTR ಅವರ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳೇ ಇವು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಬಸವಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪನವರು ಕೂಡ ಕರೆದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸರಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರು BTR, BP ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರಾಗಿತ್ತು, ತುಂಬಾ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ಕರ್ ಅವರು ಬ್ರದರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ಕರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ BTR ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು, ನಾವು ಎಲ್ರು ಕೂಡ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ಕಂಡಾಗ ಈ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮೂಲಭೂತವಾದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಭಯ ಇತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಆ ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಲಿತ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಡೀ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ, ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಕ್ಕೆ ದಲಿತ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ದಲಿತ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ರದರು ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ಅವರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಶ್ರಮಪಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಆ ಎರಡು ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಎರಡು ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಾವು ಮತ್ತು BTR ಅವರು ರ್ಯಾಷನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಧರ್ಮಲಿಂಗಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ರು, ನಂಜುಂಡಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರಿದ್ರು, ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ಇದ್ರು, LG ಹಾವನೂರ್ ಅವರಿದ್ರು. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ BTR ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹತ್ರ ಆಗಿದ್ದವು. BTR ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಜೊತೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಧ್ವನಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ವಿಧಾನ ವೀಧಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರಸ್ತೆಗೆ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ರಸ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವರ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಹಬ್ಬನ ರಜಾ ದಿನವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ಸು ಕೂಡ BTR ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಆ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಥವ್ರು BTR ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಮನಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅವರ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಬುದ್ಧ ಶಾಂತಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆಶಿಸ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವಂದಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವು ಮರ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So I myself forgotten many of the points which Chandrasekhar said today. For those who don't speak Kannada, I think the point he was making, I mean, he said very important things, but the word Dalit itself got popularized quite a lot through Dalit voice. And today, of course, we use the word Dalit as if it's always there, but it was not being used before. And also a lot of the Ambedkar statue, the holiday for Ambedkar Jayanti, a lot of things behind that, the initiator BTR was kind of behind many of those things, is I think the point he was making. And so thank you for taking us back. I remember every morning Basvalingappa was then the revenue minister, Devaraja's right hand. He used to live near a house in Kumarappa. It was a very strange mix of people who used to go walking together. So one hand we had Basvalingappa, who was a rationalist, atheist, activist like my father. So about 6:30 in the morning he will come downstairs and call Rajshekar, Rajshekar, he shouts. And then we had one Lingayat Swami on the other side, Urvakonda Swami, Lingayat, he kade. ಅವರು ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. with two atheists, one Lingayat Swami, and arguing the whole way. And these are the key policy makers. Basulingappa was a terror. I don't know those of you know him. He was the most powerful Dalit voice, in a policy maker. Devaraja's, he had a lane. I don't know what that place is called, near at the junction of the Sophia School, or Mane, Balabri. Every evening, my father finishes his work in Indian Express, mostly fighting with all the chief reporter and everybody else for their Brahminical interests. And then on the way back, he will stop in Devaraja's house every day. So we know that after from 8:30 to 10:30, he will be with Devarajas. So a lot of the land reform struggles, he coined the slogan, land to the tiller, house to the dweller. So and that became one of the key planks on which the Communist Party and Devarajas was ruling the state for so many years. So, so many stories. This gentleman here, Elumalai, who's this gentleman, who Dalit Elumalai. So they had a very interesting early relationship and later relationship. But Dalit Elumalai was from the PNT department, Post and Telegraphs. He was a clerk in Chennai or something. This is my version of the story. These guys might know a better version. But so one day, as far as I know, PK Ramdas, you may know this 1 year party, PMK, in Tamil Nadu. So my dad gets a call from Ramdas saying that we have a reserve constituency in Vilupuram. You may know that Dalits and Vanyas are not the greatest of friends. So it's a strange combination. I don't know if the people from Tamil Nadu are sitting here, they will know it's a very difficult relationship. So anyway, Ramdas calls and says, Rajshekar, my father was very involved with the DK Dravidian movement, so he knew him from there. Because Periyar, when he came, we were always with him in Bangalore those days. Tamil Sangam, Town Hall, I've grown up with all these characters standing next to me. So then he said, I've got this, I need a candidate for Vilupuram. Do you know any good Dalit activists who can? Chidambaram. My dad said, yeah, there's this guy who's very good. He's really studying Ambedkar. My dad would abuse this guy every day. Why have you not read this book? Why have you not? So anyway, the guy contests for elections in Vilupuram, Chidambaram, reserve constituency. He wins, becomes member of parliament. Then PMK joins Vajpayee government BJP, which my father was very unhappy about. But suddenly, from Post and Telegraph clerk, Elumalai becomes member of parliament and union minister for health. So each one is a story. My dad's stories are never ending, so we can go on and on. But let me ask Prabhakaran, who's come from Kerala, and the Dalit boys had a very vibrant presence in Kerala. Some of you may think that Kerala is a very advanced state and they don't have problems of caste and communalism, etc. Quite the opposite. So Prabhakaran was holding the flag of Dalit boys in Kerala. Come on, please. All old war horses.
My beloved comrades and friends, I'm really very fortunate to be in front of you to have a few words about India and his contribution. I don't think I can give a brief picture within few hours. It may take days together to give my experience and views about India and his contributions. As a humble social activist from the northern part of Kerala, I was a rationalist in the beginning. And at that time, one day, I accidentally happened to read There is a Voice from my very close friend, another rationalist, Gopinath Mapil, at his residence. And after reading that, going through the There is a Voice, I was astonished to see my own views in every aspect of life. And I immediately wrote to VTR. From that moment onwards, I joined There is a Voice and started my social activity and later life with the Dalit voice. And I was fortunate to introduce Dalit voice and VTR and Baba Sahib Ambedkar thoughts in Kerala were widespread, and the Dalit Muslim alliance ideas throughout Kerala with the support of VTR. And I made, I don't know how many times I was fortunate to bring VTR to Kerala for the different programs in different parts of Kerala. It was amazing impact it made it among our people, especially about Dalits, OBCs, and Muslims. And I think the introduction of VTR to Malayalis in every aspect of life, I think I had some a role in it, because I could translate many of his editorials and books to Malayalam and translate in sense of copies. And as Dalit said about Dalit El Malay, I was also given the title by the government of Kerala as Dalit Prabhakaran. I was suspended. I was given shock cause notice for removing from my service for my activities among Dalits and Muslims. And the principal secretary of the government of Kerala issued a notice, Dalit V. Prabhakaran. Title I was given. That was a great honor for me. And actually, people always used to call me Dalit Prabhakaran, Dalit Prabhakaran. Till I was born in a wretched Shudra community. It's called Nayar community. You know, that Nayar community, the Shudra means, I think the worst Shudra community in the whole world. Actually, it's a bastardized community with no self-respect at all. So I was, my early life began with the dirty Brahminical culture and values. So after coming close with the VTR's thoughts and writings, I was fortunate to identify the brutal Brahminical values that exist in our society and in every day-to-day life. And it was VTR, the only person in the whole of India who gave details about corruption. There are many types of corruption, financial. Who spoke about intellectual corruption, the most horrible corruption that spoils the whole society and the nation as a whole. Because in monetary corruption, giver and taker is only, but in intellectual corruption, it misguides the society, it destroys the society, it does the maximum damage to the society. So intellectual corruption is the most horrible corruption in our country. This aspect of our life has been brought to light by VTR only. He was the only man who spoke about it, who wrote about it, who made us think about it. And that aspect, and another thing is about the value, the importance of values that governs the society. The Brahminical values, the anti-human, anti-social, anti-national Brahminical values. It is these values that spoils the whole country. Those who they cultivate the food, they are called very wretched, and those who consume, upload the food are called great people. This anti-social value system of Brahminism has been highlighted by VTR, and I was fortunate to do many of its translations and propagate it in a very effective manner throughout Kerala, using in all the important gatherings of STs and OBCs in minority Muslims of Kerala, in every part of Kerala. And at that time, in the meetings, in the gathering of meetings, nobody used to display books in the meetings. I was the first person to start that program in Kerala. Now, in every meeting, in STs minority meeting, you will see the books and leaflets displayed in front of. That was the only way I could do that. So, apart from those things, these basic two things about the values and the intellectual corruption, I think these are the two important contributions that VTR has given to this whole nation, and he has inspired millions of youngsters and readers, not only in India, throughout India also, I mean, the world also. I very often I used to come to Dalit Voice office, and many times I had the opportunity to see the mailing list of Dalit Voice. I was amazed to see nearly about more than 100 countries in the world. This Dalit Voice has been used to send the universities and the intellectuals and the legal people, many other areas it was being distributed. And I once concentrated in making subscribers among the government officials of Kerala, especially about the class 1 officers of Kerala, and I could make it among the SGST class 1 officers, a good number. So the impact of Dalit Voice, the word Dalit was popularized in our state through Dalit Voice only. And Baba Sahib Ambedkar, until VTR started Dalit Voice, all the entire Dalit SGST people, they were speaking high about only Mahatma Ji. They never talk about Ambedkar. It was after coming out of Dalit Voice, people started about Baba Sahib Ambedkar and his writings and everything. Only after that, Baba Sahib Ambedkar movement started in Kerala. After popularizing Dalit Voice, that was the actual thing. And my personal life, I was fully transformed, and I forgot about my family and my children. They unfortunate to share time with me. I was madly after spreading these things, all the inspiration I got from actually VTR and his writings. And going through the Brahminical values and all these things, I found that Islam, as a Periyarist, I was impressed by Islam and its propagation of Islam among Dalits. He asked the Dalits to embrace Islam because that is the only way to get out of Brahmanism. So at that time, I was very much impressed and I started reading about Islam. But after reading VTR and coming in close contact with him, I came to understand a lot about Islam, which I never came to understand through books. So I got embraced Islam 20 years back. Now I am known as Shamsuddin, but Prabhakaran, wherever this way social media name. Now
How many names you have?
at present is Prabhakaran Shamsuddin. That is all. Because Shamsuddin is the other, Shamsuddin is the Arabic translation of Prabhakaran. So Shamsuddin Prabhakaran.
Dalit, Prabhakaran, Shamsuddin.
Yeah, you can call me like
You represent Dalit Muslim Nair.
No, I never represented. I am the most hated man among that community, and 3 attempts were made on my life from these people, and very narrowly I got the thing.
Thank you. I'm not, no, please, thank you very much. I have to get other speakers, but I think that I'm kind of joking about it, but I know for real what risks Prabhakaran and so many others. Because today we are talking about all the nice, good things about what he did, but along with that came very, very big risks to so many of the people who are in the front line, which we cannot ignore. So thank you, Prabhakaran. Thank you so much. This is in the last meeting we had where my father was here, I think a few months ago in the Indian Social Institute, we had a meeting where he was there. And because we have so many activists, I have to stand next to them because they can speak for a long time. We are very good at that. So, Kalaisan, please come. And as you're coming on stage, I wanted to say that, the stories of, we talked about his Chandigarh jail yatra earlier. And thank you to the Yedelo people who joined us now from their other meeting. I know that some of you are also in the other meeting. I hope that, more than whoever wants to speak, please, you're welcome to come closer here. But in the yatra, guys, it will be interesting. Maybe you know this, because you know him a long time also. But the police was constantly trying to not tell us where he was. So we tried to get on one coach, the coach he was in, they wouldn't let us sit there. Then in Paharganj police station, they did a strip search he was already senior journalist, etc. So George Fernandez was very helpful. The press, council, a lot of the press were very happy that he was arrested because they were not happy with what he was writing about. But there was a section of the press, of course, who was on our side. But at that time, I think Rajiv Gandhi was not aware that this had happened. It was Rajiv Gandhi government at that time. So he issued instructions to Bhutta Singh, who was the Home Minister, to find a way of releasing him because it was becoming very embarrassing because there were a lot of protests starting in different places. Siddharth Shankar Ray was the governor of Punjab at that time. So my mother and I went to meet him. So he said, no, this is a mistake, but we cannot just release him. You ask him to write an apology for his publication. So my mother and I were out. For us, going to Chandigarh was like going to a foreign country. We have never gone to Delhi. We can't understand what language they're speaking. They eat some other food. So first time we went there, so far north. And then Siddharth Shankar said, so then we went to the jail and my mother and I said, please, can you, please, just a short thing, just say I'm sorry. Because the man is not ready to say. He said, what do you mean? I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to write again and even more about this. And we were saying, you are in jail, we are outside, we're struggling, you please sign here. But he refused. And then we went, they released him after that. Then we went to Delhi. Bhutta Singh was then the Home Minister. So he fell literally on the feet and said, I'm so, on behalf of Government of India, I apologize. But that time the Chief Minister here was Ramakrishna, who was very happy. He said, so because my father was fighting against Ramakrishna, they left it and said, so he was called value-based politician in those days. For those of you, so Yeshtu value and what is his total value in those days? But guys, please tell us.
Good evening. We are lost our VTR at the time of one nation, one ration, one election, one industrialist only, one businessman only, one ration, one tax also. In that period, and what I should eat, my bed and bread determined by who. Like this period, we lost him. And then my other friends who were speaking, the intellectual corruption, the coin word. Now the movements was nurtured by him. The movements are emerged from his Dalit voice inspirations. They have been self-corrupted also. Not only intellectual corrupted, self-corrupted movements. Because of that, RSS, anti-Gandhi, anti-Congress, it doesn't mean that we need to support the RSS. Need to support the BJP. So where the political, everything it has in that situation, we lost him. And it is, but I never felt that I lost him. Because anything you talk of, any movement, any inspiration, wherever we go, VTR said that. VTR said, because he's like a big banyan tree where so many ideological movements, birds came, rest, nest, shelter, took everything. And there are unspoken things. One of our Vijay Bhupati Anna is that used to say, Guna, who knows, he was arrested during emergency. Our VTR was there behind for releasing. That's what he was saying. I told him today, I asked him to come because we only 40, 50, 60 years people we have the Udanadi with him. But other young generations are not there. Today, actually, while coming, my imagination was because the way he worked, the way the people were with followers and all. There's not this small hall I never imagined. It's a big gathering hall I thought of. The people are there. But lot of Dalit movements, whom he raised a voice and stood and even Ella Navo but how much he would have underwent from the government, from other side to run a magazine. Today, lot of Dalit organizations have all the magazines, all have their press. with the social welfare department funds, everything. But did anybody has came out like parallel to Dalit voice? Why? What lacks in that? Have you ever think of that? It's not the remembering VTR. It's we should follow his footstep ahead of him also. That is the homage we pay to him. That's the gratitude we have to show to him. And only one small my association with him. It's more before 93, 88 college days onwards. It started with listen. And Gopinath Anna wrote when it was Babar Masjid demolition time. He wrote the Brahminical conspiracy behind Babar Masjid demolition. That I translated to Tamil. For that small book, Kalanjar Karunanidhi gave the foreword for that book. That time also VTR was there to release that book. And afterwards, when Gujarat carnage happened, that time Vidudale Rajendran, he wrote Sang Parivarin Sadi Varalar. That I translated to Kannada. That releasing third release also VTR sir was from Bangalore, but that time I was aged and before that in 2004 November, Jayalalitha arrested Shankarachari. And all papers, all Brahminical papers, they were all hating her and anti of Shankaracharya arrest. Then we saw 10 days. What is this? He murdered, some murder happened, so in that case she arrested. But the people, the paper and all going anti against her. Then I spoke to VTR sir, I came to her office and then sir, why not we support? Because she has done this. Yeah, all this he was taking stand against Brahminical. Then we both, one day we decided we want to see supporting her, so showing our solidarity with her for arresting the Shankaracharya who murdered Shankar Raman. So we organized and within a day, we gave the press and whomever we have the contacts gave 100 and 200 people we communicated. Then Ashirwad, the program was organized. That day it was Ramzan also, that I remember. Then evening when we came back, police all gave the permission, everything, but evening when we contact, because the RSS outfits had come, not to do. So Ashirwad denied the venue. Then but 100 people have come. One day communications. And immediately we stood on the road only, we done that. Protest and supporting her. In that time, paper on all the paper they covered, but Deccan and all didn't cover. And then Prajavana covered. Then one of the chief, that Bengaluru editor was there. Her name Anita somewhere, I forgotten. And I asked her, see, you are putting news who are all against the Shankaracharya arrest you are putting. Why not you put supporting Jayalalitha also? If this is the case, if your Prajavana is putting, why you are not Deccan Herald not putting? If this is the case, continue means we'll see to that your circulation comes down. Then next day it comes mixed reactions to Seed's arrest. That was the thing. So why I'm telling means, if anything happened, there was one person I can look for. Go and tell, sir, it is what we have to do. What can we do? Shall we do this? Yeah, chalo, we'll do. It is like that was a thing, but now that place is vacuum. We have to do. Our Chandpir is there. I got all the things, lot of social activists, social movements, all through VTR sir. Gopinath Anna, then Chandpir, lot of other friends are there here. Some we have not come, and then our Patrick is no more. Yeah, he was there. It's like I don't want to. For me, it's a tears. I don't want to do, but VTR will be there. But this government has to give him, recognize him, his work. It's a Siddaramaiah government. It's a Congress government. It is a social justice government. It is a secular government. They say and the man who stood all his life, one man army type, government has to give him in his name. Yes, one award has to be declared, and in his, his friends have told, in his name the road has to be done. I want in his name one award has to be formed to give the award to the people who are all working for the social causes selflessly, and then his VTR will be always with us. Maybe physically is not there, and because we don't have that, because he was in Mangalore, we were not feeling that we are missing. That's the thing. But on that day, we were not able to attend that. We were not there on that last day. That is really paining for us. But still, we will carry his ideas, his dreams, his things. We will, especially I will do that. Thank you.
I think when you made that Siddaramaiah tweeted a very long tweet from CM and Stalin also tweeted. So I think we should follow up with them now. What we can do, and Ibrahim and Prakash Rathod and others are here also. So we can discuss the next steps. Kennedy, please come. You can say quickly what Kennedy was. We had the last meeting. Kennedy had some great stories.
Dear elders and friends, I had the opportunity and fortune of sharing my personal experience with VTR as a young boy when I was a mechanic in automobile Mandavir Motors. But at the same time, the moment I got to know that VTR is no more, and I could count on the days, the way he influenced me personally. One thing is about his openness and daringness. Just now it was mentioned when he was arrested and taken to Chandigarh, the one and only person who stood by him was George Fernandez. In spite of that, when George Fernandez chaired the NDA group, he wrote, "That is thicker than water, and the Brahmin blood in George's working." After that, see, in spite of all his elderliness, there was a meeting in SCM, and just before that, he had met one of the heads of the churches who happened to be the same blood from Bengaluru. So after meeting the church head, he came and said, "Oh, such a nice person, he will do all these things." He has assured. And I asked him, you know what? I think that dareness I drew from him only. So I asked him, "Sir, in spite of George standing by you, you wrote that is thicker than water. How that you accept the same blood, and now you say they'll redeem us? Please tell us." Avudala? Yes. Good. That is the best thing you can hear from him. The best compliment. And second thing is about his, in spite of all his seriousness, he was very humorous. He will never laugh, but at the same time, I remember once there was a meeting in Gandhi Bhavan. People like Hassan Mansur was there, Shiram Karanth was there, Adri Shamanna was there. During the lunch hour, it was a Sunday, and they happened to serve Masrana and Bisi Bele. The way he made his face, my God. And the Trinity was there. He, Iqbal Amit Sharif sir, and Sridhar Murthy. These three, very good combination. Trinity. So he took that plate. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಾಕಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ನಾವು ಹಣೆ ಬರ ನಾವು ನಂಬೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇದೇ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೋಟಿ ಕರಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then he had just 2 spoons and he didn't hold the spoon. The way the spoon was just clinging to his fingers, and just he had like this, and that is the humorousness in what was in it. And thirdly, the child in Vidya. I knew a young priest who was running tuition centers in the slums. When Ravanan informed him, Vidya, that such a person is doing something, then he said, why don't you, I don't mind coming and visiting. And that time communally was not what is today. So he went into the slum, he was taken into the slum, and there were about 80 children attending evening supplementary education tuitions. And the children sang, they spoke. After a few minutes, tears were rolling from his eyes. That is the time I realized, my God, this man being so strong, so rigid person, and the childness in him comes out spontaneously. So this is what really is influencing me, this whole humanness in him. And I think if that is there, we will be there to carry out this mission. Thank you.
Where is Mountain? Yeah, I think getting my father to eat vegetarian food was not easy.
ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್. ವಿದ್ಯಾರವರು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ದಲಿತ ಸಮುದಾಯದಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಂಜಲಿಯನ್ನು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾನೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ದಲಿತ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಿಕಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ ನಾವು ಗೋಪಿ ಸರ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಿಕಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಇದ್ದವಾಗ VTR ಸಾರ್ಗೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಅನೇಕ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಇದ್ದ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು VTR ಅವ್ರ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು 70, 80, 90ರ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದವರೆಗೂ. ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತ ಶ್ರೀಧರನ್ ಅಂತವ್ರು ಯಾಕೋ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಯ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂಗೆ ದಲಿತ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತ ದಲಿತ್ ಬಹುಜನ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಭಾವಿತರಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಂದ್ಸಾರಿ ನಾವು VTR ಬಾಡುತಿಂದ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅನೇಕ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಿರ್ಮಾಮಿಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಇದು ಯಾಕೋ ಈ ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ VTR ಇವರ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಯಾಕೋ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆದ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ದಿಕ್ತಪ್ಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಸಮಾಜದ ಕಟ್ಟ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತವ್ರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋವುಗಳನ್ನ, ಅಸ್ಪೃಶ್ಯ ಸಮಾಜದ ಆ ಲೋಕದ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋವುಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದಂತವ್ರು ನಾವು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಮಾತುಗಳು, ಆ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎದೆಗೆ ತಟ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೂ ಅವ್ರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬೆರಿತಕ್ಕಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ ಅವರ ಅನೇಕ ಸಭೆಗಳು, ಸಮಾರಂಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಗೈಡ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಥವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಚಳುವಳಿಯನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈಗಿನ ದಲಿತ ಚಳುವಳಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸುಮಾರು 20-30 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಂತ ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅನೇಕರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದೇನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಂಕೇಶ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಓದಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಲಂಕೇಶ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಓದಬಾರ್ದು ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು. ಆದ್ರೂ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಸಮಾಜದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಜಾತಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನ ಒಡೆದಾಕಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಸಮಾನತೆಯ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನ ತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಂಬಲ ಇತ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ನೊಂದಿದ್ರಿ ಜಾತಿಯ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ನೊಂದಿದ್ರಿ, ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು, ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ನೋವು ಸಂಕಟಗಳು. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳು, ಅವರ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಸೆಳೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಆ ಕಡೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಅವರು ಕಳೆದ ಸಾರಿ ನಾವು NGO ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ISI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಕೌತಾಲ್ ಹೋದೆ, ನಾವು ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಕೌತಾಲ್ ಗೋಪಿ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ VTR ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಂತೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಯ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರು ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾರಂತೆ, ಅವ್ರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬಂದ್ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಕೇಳೋಣ. ತುಂಬಾ ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಯ್ತು, ಈ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು, ಒಂದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅದೊಂದು ಚಳುವಳಿ ಆಗದೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡ್ತು. ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ, ಒಂದು ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿತ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಆ ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋರಾಟಗಾರರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಈ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಒಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಫ್ಯೂಡಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಒಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಂತರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ VTR ಅವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವತ್ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆನೆ ನಂಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕೋದು ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ಅವರು, VT ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಇದಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಮಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು 3-4 ಡೇಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅವರು ಲಂಡನ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಏನೋ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ತುಂಬಾ ನೋವಾಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಬಹುಶಃ ಇಡೀ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ದಲಿತ ಚಳುವಳಿಗೆ, ಈ ಶೋಷಿತ ಸಮುದಾಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ವೈಚಾರಿಕವಾದಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾರು ಮರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ನಾನು ಗೋಪಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತೆ, ಸರ್ ಆ ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಆರಂಭ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಮ್ಯುನಲಿಸಂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಜಾತಿವಾದಿ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಹಿಂದೆಂದಿಗಿಂತಲೂ ಇಂದು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜಾತಿಯ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಲ್ಲೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅರೆ ಒಂದು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಕೊಪ್ಪಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀ ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹೋಟ್ಲನ್ನೇ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋಟ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟೀ ಕೊಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಹೋಟ್ಲನ್ನೇ ನಡೆಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಂತಹ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತೂ ಈ ಜಾತಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ, ಇವತ್ತೂ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ವಿರೋಧಿ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಕ್ಬಾಲ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಶರೀಫ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ನಾನು 91ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣಿಪಾಲ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ VTR ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ದಲಿತರು ನಾವು ಒಂದಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರು ಕಡ್ಡಾಯವಾಗಿ ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅವತ್ತು ದಲಿತರು ಮತ್ತು ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಹಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿತ್ತು ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಚಳುವಳಿಯನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಿದಂತ VTR ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದವರು, ಸಲೀಲ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರನ್ನ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹಾಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ದಡ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್. ಆಗ ಬಹುಶಃ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನಾದ್ರೂ ಭಾವಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ 4 ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಆಡೋದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಂಜಲಿಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ, ಅವ್ರ ನೆನಪುಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಹೊಂದಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್, ಜೈ ಭಾರತ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೋಹನ್ ರಾಜ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಫಿರೋಜ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಿರೋಜ್ must be known to a lot of the Bangaloreans. He's a champion of inter-communal harmony. He holds so many meetings, but he had another side because he was also my father's friend.
Friends, my name is Feroz Abdullah. I'm here on behalf of the Muslim community to offer a heartfelt condolences. May his soul rest in peace. I must also say that he's left behind a worthy son of a worthy father. All the best.
It's very short, very sweet, but you saved us some time. Yeah. So we have, I know a lot of people from this side, Yadaya sir, Molbandi, ready to speak. I was going to switch briefly to get Anand in to speak, to get different generation. Then we'll come back to Anand is a leader, Dalit leader from Remembrance, and we work closely together in Yuva Shakti. So Anand ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎರಡು ಮಾತು.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ನಾನು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಿರಿ. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಲೀಲ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯುವಶಕ್ತಿಯ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ. ಅವರು ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಸಲೀಲ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ನಾನ್ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸಲೀಲ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಏನ್ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಗಳನ್ನ ಎರವಲು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನ್ ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಾತು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ನಾವಾಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಅವರ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಯಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಮಾತನಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಧ್ವನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮುಖಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದು ಸಲೀಲ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮುಂದೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಜರ್ನಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
We have some speakers. I wanted to bring Yadaya sir. Please come and then we can move to Banu Prakash there. Of course, Prem sir said he's patiently going to wait. Prakash is waiting and coming also. Please, you want to go there? We'll give an opportunity at the end for everybody to pay their respects also. I know that many others also want to speak. Anybody else have missed out who feels, please let me know. Molbart is there. He's on my list. He Murlila Rajshekar. Please, sir.
Good evening to you. I am Dr. Yadi from Hyderabad. I am a medical doctor. I am running a 50-bedded hospital near BHL area. Perhaps I am lone Dalit community doctor who had established own nursing home, practicing for the last 55 years. I am 74 years now. In a very accidental way, as Madam Rudrama Manorama pointed out, I came accidentally acquainted with the video. I am a student of Gandhi Medical College in Hyderabad. My professor, Honorable Madhav Rao, he was from Andhra area. He was also a Dalit. We, along with other friends, we used to meet our student community people frequently. We were working in getting the scholarships for the students. In those days, there was a trend. Those who were having good recommendations with them, they used to get passed. Those who were neither having recommendations nor any what you call proper financial setup, they were having a sort of flag. We represent the matter. The present Nagar Karnool MP is my classmate, roommate. The present Deputy Chief Minister Bhakti Vikramarka of Telangana, when we were in medicine, he was a 5th class student. He used to stay with us. We used to guide him. One day, I happened to see my professor on some patient's issues at Usmania General. He was the professor there. The moment when I entered into my professor's room, sitting room, I had seen a magazine with the name Dalit. V.D. Rajshekar, editor, is the V.D. Then I questioned my teacher. Where from this paper is coming? From Bangalore. How many issues it brought? Hardly 3 to 4 issues. He only told me that it was inaugurated, it was unveiled by Honorable Madhaudi. He was from Aligarh Muslim University. He was the greatest social intellectual. It was started at Bangalore. He was there. I have seen the editorial articles. I was impressed. I asked my professor, sir, can I take this copy with me? He told me we can. I took that pen. I gone through. Immediately the next day, I wrote a letter about our activities. As per Buddha's, Phule's, Baba Sahib Ambedkar's, Periyar's, so many other reformers who were working in the ancient history, medieval history of India and the world. So, I wrote him a letter. I want to join your force. I am impressed. He sent me all the 4 to 5 copies which he brought after the unveiling. Like that, I got what you call an accidental acquaintance. I had an opportunity of working 25 years as AP State's Dalit Vice Representative. I used to share my various doubts about the society. After going through the annihilation of caste by Baba Sahib Ambedkar, revolution and counter-revolution, how the society was working, why in the entire world there was a movement in individual states. They had developed a secondary leadership. They had developed a third set of leadership. Why can't in India, why the reformers are not able to continue the process of emancipation of 85% of Bahujans in this country? Like that, we got that attachment. Like Manohar Ramaji, I put a question to my master that why Shetty's name is there. He was telling that in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, the people who are called Vaishyas, some of the subcaste people they are having. Even Periyar also belonged to Shetty. That what he kept. So like that, there is a continuous working. Whenever any invitation was there to VTR from AP, he directly used to be telephone and to know about the particular organization is calling me, inviting me to speak on the particular subject. You just study about their whereabouts. Are they working really for social development or they are related to any political parties? What is their background? You let me know. Then I will give my answer like that. So I used to verify the name of the particular society, members who are working, prominent members who are working. I used to send my reply basing on that he used to. Ever since that follow-up, to the last days of closure of the voice, he used to be in contact. I had an opportunity of participating in the national level meetings like Delhi, Baroda, Orissa, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, in good number of meetings. Whenever some important meetings were going to take place, there he used to be informed and asked me whether you are able to come or not like that. He used to encourage like that. By the time I met VTRG, from the my high school days, I was impressed by Dr. Baba Saheb's life history, Pule's life history, and other social reforms. I was almost completing my 50% of experience in that social activity. So the contractor made him. He used to trust me like anything. If I say yes, this is good, he is to. Now the big question before me is, I used to put always this question before media. After you, who is going to run the I put this question number. He used to tell me, somebody will come from the society. Whatever the efforts we are putting in the society, it will not go waste. Somebody will come. Somebody will come. So ever since last Tuesday when I heard the Parinirvana of VTRG, I was a little bit annoyed, shocked, felt. I'm working on the process that how to develop it. I contacted some noted Dalit voice readers from Muslim community, Hindu community, Sikh community, and then whomever I am trusting, they are the good, what you call, calculated workers, concerned workers, I am ready. In my opinion, to pay a real, honorable, worthy, the tribute that what we wanted will be working for the re-establishment of the voice, For that, so far, what I thought is, during the days of Dalit Voice, the important regular readers of the Dalit Voice who were there, I collected about the 1500 to 1800 addresses from all over. Now I want to contact them. This is the position VTR has guided so far. How to combine the force, how to make the force of Bahujans, SC, ST, BC, minorities, all the things. So, what I want to share with you, 2 minutes, only share you is, I am putting a direct word to Honorable to lead this front. I am going to collect all over India's Dalit voice readers. We will make a panel. You just to be something like train engine. We will follow. That is one. Now so many my Muslim brothers in Hyderabad, they are asking about Baba Sahib's literature. जाति पात का विनाश जो होती है, ब्राह्मणिज्म की बस वजह से जो जाति पात निर्माण इस देश में हुई है। जब तक इस देश में जातिवाद का विनाश खत्म नहीं होंगे, तब तक ब्राह्मणवाद जीते ही रहेंगे, मनवाद जीते रहेंगे, हमेशा मुसलमानों के ऊपर इल्जाम लगाते रहेंगे, हिंदुओं को इकट्ठा करते रहेंगे, देश को बंटवारा करने में टुकड़े 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 करने में अपने कार्यक्रम को लेते। तो now as an Ambedkarite, as a follower of V.T. Rajshekar ji, I am going to head with my plan and activity. Kindly, I request you to be in front. That my father, lifelong, is struggled to this extent for the benefit and development of the Bahujans, who constitute 85% of this national population. And again, I go on visiting the important state level Dalit voice workers to contact, to get them into the fold of the re-establishment of the Dalit voice. We will work and succeed in that, because Dalit voice name is the today's nation's name. Today it is the Bahujan's name. Today is everything for the development of the society. So we are there with the Dalit voice. We are there with VTR. We are there with you. We are with all the suppressed and oppressed people. We are there. I want, if you are there, I am ready to lead Dalit voice. To the end of my life, I want to lead. I want to lead. So on this occasion, my message to all the elderly people out there, it's what only my way of personal thinking, that we are sufficient enough today. When Dalit voice was started in those days, there were no, active movement was there. Active feelings were developing, but active movement. Ever since that voice, we are coming closely. Thank you. Thank you, our Muslim brothers. Appreciate it. All the people are coming together. The only tribute what we have to extend to VTRG, to run the Dalit voice, to run the Dalit voice, to run the Dalit voice. Jai Bhim, Jai Bhim.
I had to chair many international meetings and try to get speakers to speak less. I've been more successful there than the activist meeting in India. Very, very difficult. Because 2 minutes is like, तो अभी काफी लोग बाकी है. Unless Akbar, you're going to organize biryani for us. this meeting will go on and on. So please, the remaining speakers, please be short. Ibrahim Saab has been waiting very patiently. He said he's going to wait. Our Tulukuta members have not spoken, so I'm requesting them to also say one or two words. Janam Suda, short. Tulukuta, okay.
half a ನಾನು ಜಯರಾಮ್ ಸೂಡ as a past president of ತುಳುಕೂಟ. ನನಗೆ ಸಲೀಲ್ನ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ 40 ವರ್ಷದ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡು ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಜಯರಾಮ್ ಸೂಡ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ನೀನ್ ಹೇಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ತಂದೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರ ತಂದೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿ ಬಯಸಿದ್ದು, ಅವರಷ್ಟು ಸರಳ ಜೀವಿ. ಅವರದ್ದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಡಿಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ನಾನಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಜಯ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್. ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ನಾನು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಸಲೀಲ್ ನೆನಪು ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ನನಗಂತೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಿಶ್ ಕರಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ನಿಮ್ ಡ್ಯಾಡಿ ರಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನನಗೆ ಎಂದೂ ನೆನಪು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಎಂಜಾಯ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Ramesh is my father's cousin, but also Tulukuta.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ramesh Hegde, first president of BTR, and I want to take you back maybe 40 years. Mr. Rajshekar was the second president of Tulukuta in Bengaluru in 1973. Tulukuta started in 1972. For 1 year, somebody else was president, Rajshekar Suvarna. After that, in 1973, V.T. Rajshekar became the second president of Tulukuta, Bengaluru. And he led Tulukuta till 1980. Tulukuta is a language-based association for Tulu-speaking community. There are all caste and creeds were involved in it. There is no barrier. Only knowing the language is the barrier. Once you know Tulu language, you can become the member. And he made me also a member. And he led this Tulukuta till 1980. And he handed over his presidentship next to Vishu Kumar, writer. And Vishu Kumar got it up much higher. And I also served as the president from 2009 to 2012 as president. And VTR, those days, had no differentiation between caste, creed, language, anything. Now, when you hear people talking around, they take only one side. The later part of VTR, they were spoken. I'm talking about earlier part of VTR. And I hope you understand. Those days, there's no differentiation between caste, creed, or Brahminical, or Muslim, or Dalit, and nothing like that. We are all Tulu-speaking people who are members of Tulukuta. And now, there are many people who have come from Tulukuta to the association. The General first spoke, and probably the president of the president, I think he is gone. He has waited for too long. Is pardon? Sundarajay, he is the president of Sundarajay, right? He was there, probably now he is not there, he is gone. Anyway, thank you.
I wanted to make sure that we have a couple of Muslim representatives speaking, and then, of course, Mol Bharati ji has to speak. One last Tulu.
Tulukuta.
Tulukuta people don't wait for me to invite them. They come on stage.
I'm Vital Shetty. I was a member of the earlier Tulukuta. My association, without meeting him personally, was around 1966, when the Bengaluru edition of Indian started. And it's the first English newspaper I started reading after 1966 when I joined the college, because earlier known only Kannada. Then I had a desire that I should meet this person, because his articles are so provocative. Some of the words I could not understand. I said I should have an opportunity to meet this gentleman. Then in 1980, I became a member of the Tulukota. I had a honor and opportunity to speak to him. That is the first experience. Then afterwards, because of the job, I went to Delhi, and he came to Delhi also, and we had a meeting together. Then another most important thing is, recently there was a talk, Samvada with Sendil in Bangalore. So I went there. Then some of my friends were there. Said, Shetty, come, you sit with us. I found a seat next to V.T. Rajshekar was blank. I see it is an honor for me to sit with them. I introduced myself to Salil Shetty, that I was watching you since your days in IIM Ahmedabad and UNAID MDG goals, as well as his activities in the Amnesty International. Then I sat next to him. He started putting questions. Then because the meeting was supposed to start at around 5 o'clock, it didn't start at 6. Well, repeat. Start Malpujari. Start Kenle. I want to meet. Who is this Sendil? Because at 92, still he was very, very forward. What I wanted to, his determination, his conviction, his fighting for a cause of the oppressed was so phenomenal that I want to emulate him and let me have the courage and conviction to speak truth when injustice happens. That is the only tribute we can pay to this great man. Thank you all.
Okay. Gopinath has been with my father for so long. He Dalit thinker, writer, and activist. He's also in charge of Dalit. Of course, I can't forget. Jai to all, good evening, friends. So many people have spoken about their association with Vidya. See, today many Dalits are congratulating him, respecting, talking so many things. I about him. But when Vidya was alive, he was speaking for Dalits, but most of the Dalits were hating him. When I saw him first time, and when I asked some of my friends in Dalit organizations, I was also in a Dalit Sanghars with him. So when I told them, see, who is this person who is a leader of Dalit voice? Then immediately what they said is a mad fellow. One or two nuts have been loose, and he's also Arab agent. He's getting lots of money from the Arab countries. He has got a lot of property. He has made a lot of money. And that really made me very curious about him. I felt like meeting him because so many people talking against him. Then he must be a different person. Right? And he's also running a magazine, Dalit Voice, in favor of Dalits. When I met him slowly, after 1 or 2 meetings, I understood that person. Later on, we became very close to him. And at that time, I found, even at the age of 65, and being worked in Indian Express for more than 25 years, he was not having his own house in Bangalore. He was living in a rented house, as my brother Chandrasekhar said, which our K. Chandrasekhar, he was his close associate. He was living in a rented house, which he got it from, we got it on HRA, I mean, what is this, House Control Act from B. Basulingappa. Until the last years, he was staying there only. But many people did not know that. They thought that they were telling that he has made a lot of money. See, he was speaking in favor of Dalits. He was speaking in favor of Dalit movement, but he was hated by majority Dalit organizations, except few people like our K. Chandrasekhar and MD Bimrayappa. Others were not so much associated with him. And because of this kind of mental barrier, many of our Dalits were prevented from reading his magazine. It was only in 1993 when we started Kannada Dalit Voice. Then many people started reading Dalit Voice. This is one thing. When he was speaking in favor of Muslims also, initially Muslims very much attracted towards him. But later on, most of the so-called elite Muslims started hating him.
See, this is the funny thing. And he was a very controversial person at that time. And secondly, when you are talking about the movement, our friends were telling he's a single man, he's running one magazine, and he thinks that he himself is running a big movement. Then at that time, I just argued with them. What is the meaning of a movement? They think that we are having such a big organization, therefore we are running the movement. And we are the, leaders of the movement. After all, he is running one magazine, and it hardly got about 2,000 circulations. But he says that he is running a movement. Then I asked him, what is a movement? They were not able to define a movement. Then later on, I told them, movement means anything, any organization, any person who changes the thinking of the people. That is movement. And how will you know that this movement has started? The language he introduces, the language people learn from that person or from the organization. Through his magazine, he has coined many new terminology. We are talking about the Hindu Nazis. He never said that he is a Brahmin or this thing and that. It was a peculiar name, Hindu Nazis. And the system he was called was Brahminical Social Order. And some of the leaders, he has nicknamed them. Like our Ramakrishna in Kannada, he used to say that Gullinari, that means a cunning fox. And Karunanidhi was calling Cutthroat Karunanidhi. And P.V. Narasimha used to call Chanakya. So it's not peculiar names. And he said BJP means Brahmin Jati Party. See, Brahmins, they have their own. They don't know, but no, BJP, Brahmin Jati Party. And Congress also was not even, though Baslinga was there, many others were there, they are very close to him. He was telling Brahmin, Congress is the original Brahminical party. Many may become very angry, but that was the name he has given to the Congress. And later on, another important thing is, I don't want to speak in detail my association with him. This is a language that has become very popular. Even today, many of our organizations are using the same language in Malayalam, in Kannada, Tamil, and even in English. And some of our friends were telling, see, why not we ask the government to institute an award? See, VTR was always against any kind of awards or rewards or any favor from the government. He never approached them. He was telling, this government should always punish me, they will always punish me. And I think that is the biggest. For the cause for which I am fighting, my passport has been impounded. He was not allowed to go outside India. He never begged any minister. Though he had many friends in central government and state government, he never begged them. He never asked them to get back his passport. He never asked. And some of his contemporaries, they got a state award, national award. And his friends used to tell, see, all these fellows, they don't have any stuff at all. But you are such an intelligent person. You should get some award. No, what he was telling. See, he is getting awards and rewards. You know why? Why, sir? Every day he is eating at least 5 to 6 kgs of shit from the shit of the Brahmins. That's why he's got all the awards. ಒಂದೇ 5-6 kg ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ತಿಂತಾರೆ ಅವನಿಗಲ್ದ ಏನು ನನಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಾನು ದಿನ ಬೈತಾರೆ ತಿನ್ನೋರು. This is the reaction he told. So he never asked for any benefits. He never did any lobbying. In fact, Lalu Prasad himself once, see, when we had a meeting in Delhi, he was telling to somebody, we must make him the Rajya Sabha member. He heard it and he kept out as if he has not heard. He never went behind it. That was the personality. And today, after his death, he must follow his tradition. The best thing is, let us form a research foundation in the name of VTR. Every year, you can do ask some interested persons to write about him and make some researches. And you just start giving the awards through the foundation. Why should we beg the government? Anyway, any of these governments are not in favor of Dalits or Muslims or anybody for that matter. So why should we insult him after his death? I don't think it's right on our part. And secondly, though I was very close to him, I started Kanna Dalit Voice along with him, keeping him as the editor. And I translated many of his books myself. My friend Mohan Kumar is here. He also translated many books. And my wife, Lakshmi, she 1 year she worked in Dalit Voice. When all others left, myself and my wife, we both worked in Dalit Voice. I worked for nearly 3 years. And she worked for 1 year. We worked there. And in spite of such a close contact, we have to leave him. Many people ask me, why did you leave him? See, VTR, he was a pure thinker. He was supporting Manyar Kanchiram. He was supporting Bahujan movement. But he did not like me joining the Bahujan Samaj Party. This is right. He was telling you are more interested in running a party. You are more interested in popularity. If I want popularity, if I want power, I should join Congress or BJP. I tried to convince him, but he was not interested in convincing. The reason is, in fact, he wanted me to take the Dalit voice of him. That was the intention. He did not tell me openly, but later on, our another senior friend, Iqbal Sharif, told me. He wanted you to be his successor, both in Dalit voice, English and Kannada. But he did not tell you. He will not tell you so many things openly. But only thing you have to understand it. When I spoke to him that he's doing he's causing so many troubles, all these things. So what Iqbal Sharif said was, every person has got a weakness. And the greater the person, the greater will be the weakness. All great persons will have great weaknesses only. They cannot have small weaknesses. Only thing you have to understand that personality, his contribution, and his nature, and his service for the society, sacrifice he has made for the society, and you must continue. It because of such a small difference, many times you quarreled, many times. It is very difficult to go on with such great personalities. It's very difficult. But somehow we managed. Our association was for nearly 15 years. Then later on he went to Delhi to start media center. Then we got disconnected. That's one thing. Second thing, he was not at all liking my joining DSP. He was a great admirer, supporter of Manyar Kanchiram, but he never wanted me to join the active politics. He was so much angry with me, even in the last meeting when it was held in Ernakulam. We both were supposed to attend the meeting. I was to attend the second session, he was to attend the first session. He attended the first session and he was supposed to stay there. But knowing that I am coming, he was so much angry with me. Then he told Prabhakar, no, I don't want to see his face. We tell him that I am going without meeting him, we tell him. He told me promptly, see Gopinath, this is what VTR said. Then I said, quite natural, because I did not come up with his expectation. So it has happened so. But he was also having great love for me. And he was telling others, though he is in BSP, I know that he will make a difference in BSP. That's what it's a kind of a wish for me, it's a blessing for me. And today we are here. And fortunately, we had the opportunity to meet him 3 months ago in Indian Socials, arranged by our Salim. But the very sad thing was, he was not able to recognize me. In fact, he was not able to recognize many people. Except 1 or 2 persons, he could not recognize anyone. That was the thing, very sad thing. And I already wrote an article in Artha Bharati. And my brother Mohan Raja is bringing a special issue from his Bhimwada, which is a regular monthly magazine. So in that special issue also there is an article. And I also spoke in the media and YouTube also, YouTube channel. For 40 minutes I spoke about him. And today it has been uploaded. And finally, one thing I want to tell my friends. Somebody was telling about it, speaking. He was telling it, Rajshekar Shetty, Salil Shetty. He was having that Shetty name long back. But in one of the meetings, the open meeting, this Veeramani from Dravida Kalagam said, Shetty is the indication of caste. It's a caste surname. Why do you carry that Shetty when you don't believe in caste? See, within 2-3 days, he went to court and he just removed that Shetty and made an affidavit. He has become VT Rajshekar. Then onwards, he always liked to call himself as the. This is way back in 40 years. He left it 40 years ago, but still we carry it to Shetty. Why do you? It's a great insult we are doing with him. Please don't call him a Shetty. He never had any Shetty qualities. Why we are remembering, we respect him? Because the way he talked, he believed it and he lived that. He was not a hypocrite. He was very straightforward. Whatever he said, he made it in action. See, during these meatless days, Ambedkar Jayanti, Buddha Jayanti, Gandhi Jayanti, as a protest, we used to eat beef samosa in front of Vidhan Soda. That he started somewhere in 82, protesting it and selling the samosa. We are not giving it freely. At that time, just 2 rupees. Beef samosa. We thought that some 50 people may come. But surprisingly, more than 500 people came and immediately ordered for beef samosa. And he was the first person to eat it. He was in the lead. So whatever he said, he was always leading it from the front. He never used to go back. That was the quality of an honest intellectual. Of course, we lost that person in physical form, but he remained as an idea for the next 5-6 generations to come. And we'll be witnessing it. Thank you.
I mean, there are so many people here who have done so much with my father, and I want to thank you all personally. Mulbarti, short agli Amal Ibrahim. He's going to bring the Shyam Sundar.
ಬಹಳ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಇದು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗಿದೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಫ್. Why Rajshekar came into the Dalit movement? Why he came into the Bengaluru movement? You have to understand. It was in 1957. Mr. B. Shyam Sundar was the MLA. I will give some 2 proverbs of Shyam Sundar. बदलो, तेजी से बदलो, चांद बदला है, सूरज बदला है, अब नहीं बदलोगे तो फिर कभी नहीं बदलोगे. छीना हुआ हक मांगने से नहीं मिलता, उसे छीनना चाहिए, मांगने से भीख भी नहीं मिलता. In 1971 he said in election, आज मुसलमानों का हालत, आज के मुसलमान कल के हरिजन. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಹೇಳಿದರು 71 ನಲ್ಲಿ. क्या साहब हमको तुम अछूत बना दे, आगे तुम्हारा हालत मेरे अछूतों से बदतर हो जाएगा ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. आप लोगों को मालूम है मुसलमानों का हालत क्या है आज? सुबह में मस्जिद में नमाज पढ़ते हैं, शाम में जाके मंदिरों में घंटी बजाते हैं. ये हालत हो गया उनका. So what why I am telling ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ದಲಿತ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಲಿತ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರಂತೆ. 1957 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ವಾಜೆ MLA. 57 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಕ್ಕನ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ. ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ he was very much impressed by ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್. 57 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಬಸಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪ ವಾಸ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್. ಅವಾಗ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಅರಸು ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್. ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಹೈಲಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ಅವರು ನಿಜಾಮ್ದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್. ನಿಜಾಮ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ನಿಜಾಮ್ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸು ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ನೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದರು. ಆವಾಗೆ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ನೀನು ಈ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಿನಿಸಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ದಲಿತ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದಲಿತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಕೂಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 1968 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲೋಗನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್, ಅಖಿಲಿಯತೋಂ ಕಾ ನಾರಾ ಹಿಂದೂಸ್ತಾನ್ ಹಮಾರ ಅಂತೆ. ಸೊ 1976 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿ ಕೇಮ್ ಟು ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಬೈ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್. 76, 17, 80 ತನಕ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಗುರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಪೆರಿಯಾರ್ ಗುರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ದಲಿತ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗುರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹಿಮ್. ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್, ಪೆರಿಯಾರ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದ್ಲೇ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್. 76 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಬರೆದರು, ದ ರೈಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಭೀಮಸೇನ ಅಂತೆ. ಅದು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬರೆದದ್ದು ದಲಿತ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತೆ. ಅದರಾಗಿ ಒಂದು 18 ಪೇಜ್ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬರ್ದಿನಿ ನಾನು. ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಒಯ್ದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಹಿ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋದೆ ನಾನು. ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ಅದ್ರ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಟನ್ 1 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್. ಅದು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 20 ಪೇಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಕೂತಿದೆ, ಬಹಳ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಪೇಜ್, ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಡಿಸ್ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಬಡಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಗುರ್ತಿದೆನಾ? ನೋ 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 ನಾಟ್ ಸಾಯಿಬಾಬಾ. ನೋ 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 ಧರ್ಮಾದ ಇವರು ಹೆಗಡೆ ಆತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ದಲಿತರದ್ದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕಬಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರು. ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗದ. ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಸಂಗಟೆ ಬಹಳ ವರ್ಷ ಓಡಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಫ್ರಮ್ 1976 ಬಹಳ ವಿಷಯಗಳಿವೆ, ಬಹಳ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇವೆ. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದೆಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರ ಅಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್. ದಲಿತ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ 2 ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಇಬ್ರಾಹಿಂ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಅದಾರೆ. ಕಮರುಲ್ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ 300 ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಗೇನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಲಿತ್ಸ್ ನಾವಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ಸೋದು ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಹಾಶ್ಮಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ದಿಸಿದವ್ರು ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಪವರ್, ದಿಲೀಪ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸಾಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮೇರೆ ಪೈರೋ ಮೇ ಗುಂಗುರು ಬಾಂಧೆ ಫಿರ್ ಮೇರೆ ಚಾಲ್ ದೇಖ್ಲೆ ಅಂದಂಗೆ. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಪವರ್ ದೇ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ದಲಿತ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಸೊ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ರನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು ಇನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ಬಹಳ ನಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸರಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಉರ್ದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಇನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಉರ್ದು ಅಂದಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಂದು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಂದು ಒಡನಾಟ ಇತ್ತು. ಅವರು ನನಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾತು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಕಡಿತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನನಗೆ. ಆಸ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಎ ಟ್ರೆಜರಿ ಆಫೀಸರ್, ಪ್ರತಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ ಬರೋರು ಅವರು. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ, ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಾ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್, ಇದು ಪಾಸ್ಬುಕ್. ಏನ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರಿಗೆ? ಗೆಟ್ 9,000 rupees. ಅವ್ರ ಮಿಸಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಇದ್ರು. ಸುಮ್ನೆ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು. ಅವಾಗ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ನನಗೆ. ಅವರು ಬೀನಾ ಅವರು ಬ್ರದರ್ ಆದಾರೆ, ನವೀನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಐ ಟುಕ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಬುಕ್, ಒಯ್ದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ ನಾನು. ಅವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಟು 22,000 rupees ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಇಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ. ನನಗೆ ಗುರ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸರ್, ಯುವರ್ ಲೆಜಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ನೀವೇನ್ ನೋಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನು. ಹಾಗಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರತಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ದೇರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮಿಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಯು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಲೈಫ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ನಂದು ಒಡನಾಟ ಬಹಳ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ. ಬಹಳ ವಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ನೋಡ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ 1981 ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಬಂದಾಗೆ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ದದ್ದು. ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಪೆರಿಯಾರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಅಗ್ರಿ ವಿತ್ ಮೀ. ಹಂಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ, ಬಹಳ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ 30 ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿನಿ ನಾನು. ನಮ್ದು ಭೀಮಸೇನ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸೋ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಬಸವಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಬಿಟ್ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಅರಸ್ದು ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಇದೆ, ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಅದಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಸ್ ಎನ್ ತುಮಕೂರು ಅವ್ರು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಭೀಮಸೇನ. ನಮ್ದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವಾಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಏನ್ರಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಶಾಮ್ಸಂತ ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಹುಡುಗರು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಜನರಸ್, ನಮಗೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕನಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಿವೋಟೆಡ್ ಫುಲ್ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 3-4 months ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್. ನನ್ನ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ವೈ ದಲಿತ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ ದ ರೈಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಫ್. ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಕಿರಿಕಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೆ, ಸರ್ ಈ ಪಸ್ಮಂದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬದ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಪಸ್ಮಂದ. ಪಸ್ಮಂದ ಸೌತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪಸ್ಮಂದ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಆದವರು ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಸ್ಕೆವೆಂಜರ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಬಿಹಾರ್, ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಆ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಯೂನಿಟಿ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲರಿ, ಅದು ಬರಿಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಐ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರು. ಬರೀರಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ಝಿನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಅಂತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಸಪೋರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪತಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ. ಆಗ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಗುರ್ತಿಸಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ಲೀಡರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ಝಿನ್ ನಿಂತಿದೆ ದಲಿತರ ಮ್ಯಾಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದವು. ಸರ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಈ ದಲಿತ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶ್ರಮ ಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳಕ್ ತಯಾರಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕಲ್ತದೆ ಅದೇ ಒಂದು. ಅವ್ರು ಬಹಳ ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ವೆರಿ ಬಹಳ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ನನಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗಾಡಿ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ನಡ್ಸ್ಲಕ್ ಬರ್ತದ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಬರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಂದೆ ನಾವು. ಯು ಸೇ ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ. ಹೇಗ್ರಿ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ತ ಯು ಸೇ ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್. ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗಲೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ತಿಂತ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ಇದರಿಂದ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀ. ಆಗಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇದು, ನಾನು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಬಹಳ ಹ್ಯೂಮರಸ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಇದ್ರು. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಕಾರ್ನಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ವೇ ಟು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಆಫೀಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು. ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕಮಿಷನರ್ಗೆ, ನೋಡಿ ನನ್ನ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಹೌದು ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರು. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ತಿಳಿಯಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನೇನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪನಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವ ದಲಿತ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಮೈನಾರಿಟಿ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಡಿಷನ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದು ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ಬರೇ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟವ್ರು. ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂತಂತೂ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್ವೈಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಇದ್ದಾಗೂ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಏನೋ ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅದ. ನನಗೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಯಾರ ಅಂತ ಕಾಲ್ಸಿರಾಮ್ ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಬಹುತೇಕ ಒಂದು 3-4 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರೆದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ವೈ ಆರ್ ಯು ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಸಲೀಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ನೀನೇ ಬರ್ದಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನೋ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್ ಅಂದ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೈನ್ ತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಈಸ್ ಎ ನೈಸ್ ಬಾಯ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಐ ಟೇಕನ್ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಾರ್ಟ್
Satyameva Jayate. I see with all the incidents, there is a person who has lived truthfully, truthful to his thought, truthful to his words, and truthful to his actions. what I would say is, I'm a Gauda and I empathize with this being a Shetty from a OBC category fighting for the Dalits. Why? Because I don't know what was in his mind, but in my mind, I feel that I have a guilt of generations of my past who have been part of this enslavery system of the Brahminical supremacy or the Manuvada or the Zionist, Zio-Hindu. Because I'm truly amazed. It's, hair raising for me that he has dwelt on all the issues. Because what we are seeing is the Zionist, what we call the Zionist mafia, which is creating the COVID virus, which has killed all the Dravidians and the African genetic people, because there are similarities between his thoughts and the African centrism, they say. So now I understand that he's also a black Irish person. Probably his terminal illness of respiratory problems and all are because of the COVID virus or the COVID vaccine or even the viruses or what we call nanoparticles which they are sprinkling to depopulate the African genetic people. So let us be truthful to ourselves. Let him be an inspiration for us for sacrifice, for his comforts, for his benefits, and then being truthful to the core. And at the same time, you see a sense of humor. That sense of humor of truth is the true humor. I say the true sahitya. The satya sahitya is what we need to create. And that's what he lived for. And let us embody those principles, because that is the real tribute we can give it to him. And so that we can live his ideals, his thoughts, his principles, his goals, and continue his legacy to keep it alive forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, sir.
Yeah.
We can accommodate them.
Yeah. Short.
Yeah, I think you should have gone and taken the first.
Thank you so much.
ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಸಮಯ ಮುಗಿದೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅವರ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಮುಗಿಯಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು 22ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ 79ರಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಂಡ್ರಾವ್ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಮಂಡಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆದಾಗ ಇವರು ರಘುರಾಮ್ ಪಡಿಸರ ಶೆಟ್ರು ಸೇರಿ ಭಾರಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡೋರು. ಅವ್ರ ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸು ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ದಲಿತರು, ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್, ರಾಮಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಾಯಕರು ಇದ್ರ ಪರಿಚಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇ ಅವರ ಲೇಖನಿಕೆಯಿಂದ. ಯಾರು ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡೋರು. ಗುಂಡ್ರಾವು ಬೈಯೋರು, ಹೆಗಡೆಗೂ ಬೈಯೋರು, ನಾನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೂ ಬೈಯೋರು. ಇವತ್ತಿಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಏನಿ ದಲಿತ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇದ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನ ಪುನರ್ ಪ್ರಕಾಶನ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಎರಡನೇದು ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಚೇರ್ಗಳಾಗಬೇಕು. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ವಿ.ಟಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕಂತ ಮಾತು. ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು, ದಲಿತರನ್ನ ಸೇರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏನು ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದಾರೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಭಾರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ. ಎರಡನೇದು, ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಲೀಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ದಲಿತ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣ ಕೂಡಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಸಹಕಾರ ಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಪಾಲಾಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಬರಹ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಬೇರೆ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಜನರು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ. ಒಬ್ಬ ದಲಿತನ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಏನು ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಟಿವಿ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಒಂದು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು, ಬಿಜಾಪುರ MP ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಂದೂಸ್ ಮನೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ.
ತಟ್ಟೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೊರಗಡೆನೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿದು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ನಾನು SLC ಓದ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತ ಅಂಜನಿ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದ, ಉದಯ ಲಾಡ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರ ಹೋಟ್ಲು. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿಯಕ್ ಹೋದ್ವಿ. ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಆ ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ ಸಾಹುಕಾರನಿಗೆ ಇವನು ಅಂಜನಿ ದಲಿತರವನು ಅಂತ. ಬಂದವ ನನ್ನ ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದು ಎಳೆದು ಹೊರಗಾಕಕ್ ನೋಡ್ದ. ನಾನು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅವ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೇಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತೆಂಗಿನ ಚಿಪ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಡಿಬೇಕು ಹೊರತು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಡಿಬಾರ್ದು. ಹೊಡೆದಾಟ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅವ್ನು ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ ಹೊಡೆದ್ವಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೇಟ್ ಇವನು. ನಾನು ಆ ಉದಯ ಲಾಡ್ಜ್ ಸಾಹುಕಾರನಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ದೆ, ಮುಂಡೆದೆ ಈ ಜಾತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀನು ಅರ್ಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನ ದೇವರಿಗೆ? ಅವನ ಜಾತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ದಲಿತರಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ನ? ನಾವ್ ಯಾರು ಅರ್ಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನ್ ಸಾಬ್ರಾಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅವನ್ ದಲಿತರಾಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನೀನ್ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರಾಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ನೀನ್ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕ, ಸಾವು ಸತ್ಯ. ಇನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 1 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ ಮುಚ್ಚೋಯ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಿನಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ವಿಫಲರಾಗ್ತೀವಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಿಜವಾದ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಶಿಸ್ತುವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಹೆಸರಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಾಲದು. ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನು ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಚೇರು 2 ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನಿಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು. ಇದಕ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೋರಾಟನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶ್ಯಾಮ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಅವರು ಬಾರಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಇದು ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಹುಚ್ಚುಮುಂಡೆವು ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಂಘ ಇದೆ. ಸಂಘ ಇಲ್ದಿರೋ ಜಾತಿ ಯಾವ್ದಿರ್ತದೆ ಅದು ಸಾಬ್ರೆಯ. ಪ್ರತಿ ದಲಿತ ಸಂಘ ಇದೆ, ಲಿಂಗಾಯತ ಸಂಘ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಸಂಘ ಇದೆ. ಸಂಘ ಇಲ್ದಿರೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಾಬ್ರು ಒಬ್ರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗ್ ದೇವರೊಬ್ಬ, ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಒಬ್ರು, ಖುರಾನ್ ಒಂದು, ನಾವು 16 ಕಡೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಡವರು, ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಇವತ್ತೇನು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಆ ಜಾತಿ ಇನ್ನು ಬಿಹಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಲೆಟ್ರಿನ್ ಸಾಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, UP ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ನಿಮ್ ಬ್ರಾದರಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ. ಬ್ರಾದರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇಖು, ಸೈಯದ್, ಪಠಾನು, ಸಮಗಾರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಾಜದ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕೂಡ ನೇಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತಿ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಸಲೀಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನೋಡಕ್ ನೀವು ಹಾಗೆ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಇನ್ ಲಂಡನ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಾಗ ನೀವು ವಾಸವಾಗಿರ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಒಬ್ಬ ದಲಿತನಿಗೆ. ಇವತ್ತು 12,000 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರು 2 ಹೊತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತು ದಲಿತರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ, ಬಡವರ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿ 12,000 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇದಾವೆ, ನಾರಾಯಣ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಇದಾವೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಲೀಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನೀವು ಈ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ರವರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೋಹನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬರಹಗಾರರು. ನಾವು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದೆವು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 3ನೇ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಈ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ದೇವ್ರ ದಯ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್, ಭಕ್ತ ಭಂಡಾರಿ ಬಸವಣ್ಣ, ಈ 2 ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ನ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸೂಫಿ ಸಂತರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸೂಫಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಜ್ಮೀರ್ ದರ್ಗಾ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಲಿಂಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೊರಟಾವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತಾರೋ ಮೋದಿ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾರೆ ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೆ. 800 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಜ್ಮೀರ್ ದರ್ಗಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಮಾಂಸ ಅಲ್ಲ, ವೆಜಿಟೇರಿಯನ್. ಆ ಸೂಫಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಉಪವಾಸ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ವೆಜಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ನಾನ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ್ರಿ. 800 ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದೆ ದರ್ಗಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಅದು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಇನ್ನೂ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಗಲಾಟೆಗಳಾಗ್ತವೆ. ಇದು ಸುಲಭ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಬಿಡಬೇಡಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 400 ಬರೋ ತನಕ, ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ತೆಗಿಯೋ ತನಕ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅರಗಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಸಂವಿಧಾನವನ್ನ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರು ಪಣ ತೊಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಾಬಾ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವರ ಸಂವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೋರಾಟವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇದೇ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಜನ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು, ಮುಂದೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಈ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ದಲಿತ ಸಮುದಾಯದವರಿಗೂ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಸಮುದಾಯರಿಗೂ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜನವರಿ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 26ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಅವತ್ತು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಡೇ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವತ್ತೇ ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂದೇಶ ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಭೀಮ್.
Thank you so much. We have two important Muslim organization speakers, Iqbal and Omar Farooq. और उसके बाद one closing statement by Osama, who is somewhere here. He will come just to tell you what initiatives we've already taken. We can build on that also. So, Omar bhai, आप पहले दोनों को बात करें, कोई भी. ನಾವು VTR ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕಲ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ, ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾರ ಕಣ್ಣಿಂದ VTR ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕಂಡಿದ್ದೀನೋ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ಆವಾಗ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವ್ರ ಮಾತು, ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸರಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇದೆ. ಅದ್ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಕ್ಬಾಲ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಶರೀಫ್ ಅವರು. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಗರ್ವ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಳೆದ್ವಿ. ಆ ಕಳೆದ ಕ್ಷಣಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಕಣ್ಣಿನಿಂದ ಕಂಡ VTR ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಆ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂಥರ ಗುರು ತರ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಒಡನಾಡಿ ತರ ಇದ್ರು, ಅದ್ರ ತರ ನಾವು ಈ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪೇ ಇದೆ. ಶಿಷ್ಯರು ಯಾರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಕ್ಬಾಲ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಶರೀಫ್ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರ ಶಿಷ್ಯರ ತರ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ದು. ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಈ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ತನು ಮನ ಧನದಿಂದ ನಾವ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ, ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ದಿರೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಈ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಉರ್ದುನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ತಾಪತ್ರೆ ಇರುವಲ್ಲ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರ್ತದೆ ನನಗೆ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಉರ್ದುನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ 2-3 ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ನಾನು ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಹೇಬರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಕ್ಬಾಲ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ಶರೀಫ್ ನಮಗೆ वो जब भी आते हैं ना तो हमें बताते हैं ना मीटिंग रखेंगे. जब मीटिंग हम रखते हैं, हमें बड़े इसमें बहुत इसमें मुस्लिम को तमाम बुलाकर हम मीटिंग करके डिस्कस. मैं आप मोहन चाहे चले गए. मैं 20 साल पहले से मैं बता रहा हूँ दलित ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को तमाम 20 साल पहले प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया. 70 साल हो गए इसमें, इस देश कर्नाटका को. आपकी सबसे बड़ी आबादी है, पॉपुलेशन 125 करोड़, ये 1.25 करोड़ कर्नाटका के अंदर है. एक दलित चीफ मिनिस्टर नहीं बना सकते आप. 50 को एक MLA है आपके, 51 MLA. आप में यूनिटी नहीं है, सबसे बड़ी ताकत है. एम एंड ऑब्जेक्ट जो है दलित वाइज का, उसे फॉलो नहीं कर रहे. अभी मोहन राज आए, अभी इधर पूरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से काम किया. ये किस उपाय बोलते कांग्रेस में 10%, 20%, 40%, 50% RSS माइंड के आदमी हैं। हर एक आदमी का एक एक लिमिट है उधर, लेकिन सबके दिमाग में RSS माइंड है। लेकिन हम लोग जो है तमाम मालूम है हम लोगों को, लेकिन हम ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं हो रहे। हम ज्यादातर प्रॉब्लम हमारे को किससे होता है? दलित लड़के जो पूरे अटैक करने वाले, जलाने वाले, घर जलाने वाले, लूटने वाले, कौन कौन? ब्राह्मण आते क्या? लिंगायत आते? नहीं आते। इसको एजुकेटेड कर रहे हैं हम लोगों का माइंड खराब कर पूरा मुस्लिम्स में पूरा उनका लोग ऑर्गेनाइज होता हो, हर वीकली पूरा उनका प्रोग्राम बनाए कि उनको बताते कि मुस्लिम प्रॉब्लम है, मुस्लिम के खिलाफ करने वाला पूरा दलित लड़के। और ये माइंड बदलाना है, आज एक आवाज उठाना है। कल आप मेमोहन राज भी था, सिर्फ अगर मावली शंकर भी अगर रहते तो तमाम कुछ मैं बोलता मैं उनको कल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करो। 70 साल में चीफ मिनिस्टर एक बनो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं कर्नाटका में, 1 करोड़ मुस्लिम तुम्हारे साथ हैं, एक आवाज उठाओ, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं। इनका एम ऑब्जेक्ट्स उठाओ, व्हाट इज दलित वॉइस। ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡೋರು ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ವಯಸ್ಸೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. ನಾನು ಸುಮಾರು 30 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಅನ್ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, ನಾವು ಗೌರಿ ಲಂಕೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಿ ಆರ್ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾಲೋವರ್ಸ್. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಬಾಲಮ್ಮ ಶರೀಫ್ ನಾವು ಪಕ್ಕ, ನಾವು ಸಾಥಿ, ನಾವು ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಮನೆ ನಮ್ದು. ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ನಾವು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಲಿತ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಇದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೀದಿ ಬೀದಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಲೀಡರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಅಂಬ್ರೆಲಾಗಿ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಸಂಯುಕ್ತ ರಂಗ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ದಲಿತ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ವಯಸ್ಸು, ಯುನೈಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಇದು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ನೀವು ಲಾಭ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಟ್ರೂ ಶ್ರದ್ಧಾಂಜಲಿ ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಲಿತ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಅದೇ ಇದು ನ್ಯಾಯಕ್ಕೆ, ಈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Savage from the Karnataka Muslim Mahas. By the way, I've never seen Feroz sit in a full meeting like I've seen him today. Normally, to find Feroz is a challenge. Today is big. Thank you so much. He normally comes and runs away in 2 minutes. Searching for Feroz is missing already. So I just want to, closing point, thank you for the Hub Foundation comments as well. Prakash, would you mind your final thing, and then we'll listen to Osama and close. So Prakash is my classmate, MLC, Congress party, but we are from the same college. We go back a long time. Captain.
First of all, let me convey my condolences to Salil, Beena, and both the children over there. And pray God to give strength to bear the irreparable loss. And secondly, I'm very overwhelmed by the talks that I've seen today after Mr. V.T. Rajshekar passed out. My fond remembrances with him when I and Sajid used to be classmates, we used to play cricket near our house, and we used to often go and meet Rajshekar and his mother, and always used to guide us or tell us a lot of things. Sometimes we wouldn't understand, but then I used to hear about him, about his after emergency when he did the movement and he was arrested. All those things I just recollect. But when I became an MLC in 2004, Salil had gone to UK and Veena also was not here. But I got a call from his father. Rajshekar's uncle called me and told me you've become an MLC now. I want to talk to you. So his first advice to me was, to take up the issues of Dalits, to take up the issues of the poor and downtrodden, and he wanted me to take the lead in the council with regard to this. And Ibrahim Saab is here only. In most of the times when we were in the council, he was a very senior leader for us. And we used to take the issues relating to Dalits, the backward classes, and the others. So that is the mind which he gave me when I stepped in as a politician from here. And the second thing which I want to convey here is, we are speaking in St. Joseph's College of Commerce. We studied here. But when I was in college, never we had known whether you are a Dalit or you are a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are from a farmer. We never knew. At least I didn't know. Only when I went into politics and contested an election in '96, actually one of the persons who made me go into politics is Ibrahim Saab. He called me in 1984 or 85, I was very young, even 25. He took me to one of his speeches, and I admired him for his speech, and that only made me to start into political life. And what I imbibed in St. Joseph's Commerce College was, we should all lead a classless society. There should be no discrimination amongst us. That was the foundation with which we have grown up. And the foundation which we have grown up was already the moment which Mr. Rajshekar uncle had started. Today, what we are seeing is the Dalits, the atrocities on Dalits are increasing, they are not reducing. We've seen in many places where Dalits are getting lynched. We are still not getting into the mainstream. And the idea of the Dalit and Muslim unity, which we are talking of, is so much essential because the oppression is more against Dalits and Muslims than other communities. So it is but natural that we should all get together and start a movement, because what legacy or what thoughts which Rajshekar uncle had always fought for was something which is very essential in today's vicious atmosphere where hatred is spread by the political parties, and the divide is becoming more and more. The divide between the atrocities of SCs, Muslims, and backward classes is increasing. We are living in a society of hatredness now. They are making a Dalits to fight among ourselves. I am a Dalit, but then they are making to fight amongst ourselves only. They want to abolish the entire reservation system so that we don't get opportunity. The system today is, we are not getting an opportunity even now in many places where the government recruitments used to take place, the entire thing is stopped. So, thousands of years of atrocities on us, trying to cut into the mainstream, this dream is not fulfilling even today. And that is why we should propagate the policies or the fight which Rajshekar Saab led in his life. I've seen some of his writings, and some of his, all of you have been associated with him. I very fondly remember when you digitalized the writings of Uncle. I was there on that day, and you have started in the right direction. So in a digital world, we would like to spread his writings to all of them, and we require to be more aggressive in our unity. I very much agree with you, sir. जो आपने कहा बहुत सही कहा है. जब तक हम एक नहीं होंगे तो हम लोग को कोई रास्ता नहीं निकलेगा. हमारे ऊपर अत्याचार ज्यादा से ज्यादा ही होगा, लेकिन कम नहीं होगा, क्योंकि आज की जो सियासत है वो हमारे को बांटने में है, बांटने में चल रहे हो। तो जब तक हम एक संदेश नहीं देंगे कि हम सब एक है और हम उस वॉइस को स्ट्रांग नहीं करेंगे, हमारा दिन बहुत, हमारे बच्चों के लिए भी बहुत दिन अच्छा नहीं आएगा, ये मैं मानता हूँ। एंड Salil, I just want to convey my again condolences. We really will miss uncle in all this way. And I also remember your mother, because she has also given me a fish at times. We have all had good food. Whenever we used to play cricket in Kumarapurpa, I think we used to be very famished and tired, and we used to get water and other things. So we all remember them. And I want you to continue your fight. You're already relocated from there to here. Let us continue. And Veena is also doing a lot of social work. I hope she leaves London and comes here and spends more time. And as a family, your father has left a big legacy. People across the country. So I just want all of us to be together, and whatever foundations we have got in St. Joseph's College of Commerce, we should continue with it. And the message which your father has given, and so many organizations have come forward, we should carry forward. And as Ibrahim Saab has rightly told, I am also there with you. And I want to convey one thing. I asked Mr. Sidramaiah today whether he is coming for the a meeting today to pay respects. He told he has already tweeted. He has personally conveyed his condolence to you and the family, and we will definitely meet him again. And as Ibrahim sir has told, he will also speak to him. We will ask the Karnataka government to give two chairs to continue research and about his writings, and also initiate an award in his name. And whatever the government will want, we will definitely be there, and we will go and meet him again. So I want to convey you the condolence of the entire government, and also from the chief ministers. I think most of the ministers have already tweeted. Dinesh Gunrao has tweeted. D.K. Prasad has tweeted. Priyank Kharge has tweeted. So like that, most of them in the government are also with him and his teachings and his message. So let us condole this departure. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you all for being very patient. Osama will just tell us a little bit about where we are going with the Dalit Voice project. Osama, you can just say last couple of words, and then we'll say thank you to people have waited very, very patiently and sat for 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't know how many hours, 3 hours. Appreciate it.
Everybody has said something or the other and more than we were expecting. I just want to say a few things. I am the new one in the lot who knew VTR a little bit. I'm not as experienced as all of you. Even Salil, I'm friends for the last 4 years maybe. But I think Salil wanted to impress upon me more than I had expected. Then he introduced me to his father, so that we take him seriously. Like he said earlier, there are 2-3 things that I wanted to, when I was hearing, I wanted to share is that when we talk about history too much and not make history, then we are history. So India is a great place to talk about great people, but hardly doing great things. So I would say that, now that he has gone, Salil has no choice that Papa kar denge ya unhone bahut kiya to bahut achhi baat hai. Now you have another 30 years to do, even if you match his age. So let's plan and act on. So he had written the constitution for all of us, or the script. We have to act on those scripts. I think that's the task that we have. Otherwise, we will keep on talking history only, and we will become history. There is no, I mean, we have to create the same history, the script of which is already written. And that's the message that I want to, leave it here. And when we talk about Dalit Voice 2.0, we are actually trying to see that how we can take it to the next level and not talk about the past, but we can say that yes, we have a chance to correct the history. That's basically it that I want to say is that rather than remembering a lot, can we go to the next level and we start rewriting and acting upon that collectively. But somebody has to take the initiative. That's why I'm saying that let's take a kind of oath to take it forward. That what we are stood for, can we take it forward in action on the ground? It came very clear to me, and that's the reason I'm saying is that when we were digitizing, that's what we are doing. We are digitizing the whole 25 years of issues, and we are trying to make it for the new generation. Because new generation is not going to read the paper. New generation is not going to spend time to listen 2.5 hours of a lecture also by the way. They are Instagram, generation. Their timelines for listening or attention is, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So we have to also make the VTR's content consumable in a very small thing. So one thing I realized is that when I was going through Dalit Voice, I was thinking that all the headlines, all the cover headlines and all the news headlines or analysis headlines, you keep the same. Just change the date line. And just change, maybe if it is a Bihar's story, change it to, let's say, Karnataka or whatever. And republish it in the new design, it's the same. You don't have to work on the content. That is the situation, pathetic situation that we are into. That what he said at that time and what he wrote at that time is all true today. And we are not even acting at that level that he acted at that time, even collectively. So, I mean, let's go forward from here, and today is a great day when we are, doing it. इससे पहले कि याद पुरानी हो जाए, let's take a oath and take it forward. Thank you.
Thanks. So I would like to just close. Those who would like to offer some petals and all that, please do it as you leave. I think two primary ideas came from this long discussion. One was how can we, memorialize his work through the government, through publication works, collected works, etc. That's one thing. And secondly, as to what is Dalit Voice 2.0? What is the next story of Dalit Voice? So both those, some thinking has been done. Now, those of you who are interested, I will follow up with you and do it. We are against this Archaka system where the Brahmin son becomes the hereditary priest of a temple. So I don't want to fall into that trap where, Dalit Voice father, Dalit Voice son. I am there with you. I've always said that the next leadership of Dalit Voice has to come from Dalit, not from me. I'm always there. Of course, we are not going anywhere. Whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me. But the leadership has to come from, and also younger people. So Vikas, who's there standing at the back, is now full-time working on this project. We're digitizing all of the old copies and all books. Everything is going to be digitized. But then we are saying, okay, how do we now communicate this to a new audience? It's not the same 1970s audience. It's a new audience. We are now dealing with the RSS, BJP now holding state power. We're not at the same place we were when he was there. This is a vicious regime. It's not the old style regime which was, But today also you can see how many people who even used to come for meetings before, spoke up before. People are scared. So we want to fight that, we want to change that. But we have to do it smartly, intelligently, and thoughtfully. So once again, thank you very much for coming. For those of you who are die hard, who stayed here the entire 3 hours, thank you very much.